Hey, so everyone accept the recording. So we are here, the first ever Untethered Income live call. I want to acknowledge everyone for showing up here, showing up in the middle of the day, in a St. Patrick's Day. And I'm scrolling through and making sure none of y'all got no green drink in your hand. Oh, she got green. Okay, Barb. Who else has green? Oh, Barb has green. Show me your green. Who has the green on? I don't, unfortunately. Okay, I see you. No, that's good. That's good. It's so we're here today, and I want to reflect a little bit on how that very first post I made. I'll give you guys a full story, how that post even came to me, of that idea with the whole untethered income. I was actually driving, and you ever had something, a message that just comes on your heart, right? And it comes on your heart, and you just gotta just speak it. You gotta get it out there. I literally pulled off on a side of the road and made that post about how an untethered income for everyone, where we are all spiritual beings, have living a human experience, and there should be no limit on that at all, regardless of anything. So a lot of us, money limits us. Money tends to be like a limiting thing. But my idea was like, what if there were nothing that could possibly limit? What if everything was absolutely abundant as nature, right? So what I want to do is I want to introduce first off Zachary Weaver. And Zachary Weaver currently, he's actually the founder of what we're partnering with. Is called the Creative Wealth Community, and I'll let him speak more about this, in a little bit. And then also Duke Worthington, and Duke Worthington has actually been in the self-help personal development space for many, many years now. What are some of the people you've met again in a self-help space?
Oh gosh, now there's a question that catch me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, oh gosh, Michael Neal is one who's worked on a lot of things as far as the three principles. Man, you're taking me back now. I've been involved with this and listening to it since I'll just say that I had a traveling library with me throughout the 80s, late 80s or late 70s, 80s, and early 90s of cassette tapes. So
Yeah.
I'll just take you back to where I was with the Zig Ziglar stuff and
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and so many wonderful people who allow me to learn so much that not so much about not so much as self-help as really being able to grow and understand how we can be the best we truly can be with the help of others is a big part of it.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, he's been in personal development and transformation since you say the 70s.
Yeah.
Going back. I mean, hey, but still, it's all needed, and Zachary, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So like Alan said, I started this creative wealth community, and the idea of the creative wealth community is to provide a place for everyone to talk about wealth and money in the way that resonates with them. We want to create a free and brave space for people to share the way that they want to create wealth. I see, many times the world kind of tries to funnel people to create their wealth in a certain way. And I believe that people kind of have the blueprint inside of them and would rather create a space where we can encourage everyone to share that. So share that unique vision of their wealth and really their gifts, how they're showing up in the world,
Yeah.
all of that. So thank you, Alan.
Of course, it's this. Yeah, of course, of course. It's great to have you. This is it's so for everyone watching. This is a great group of people. I'm really, really big on everything that I do. I make sure our heart is first. Our heart is what's leading. Our heart is what's creating it, because the heart is a naturally organizing thing within and of itself. It pumps enough blood to the stomach, to the kidneys, to everything pretty fairly. And if we lead our lives and lead our creations with our heart, then everything kind of just comes into synchronistic flow, right? And so one thing I want to say earlier as well, a little bit, I was speaking a bit about how, sometimes some of us can experience money, some of us can experience it as a limitation, someone's going to experience it as abundance, someone could experience it as like just a neutral thing. First and foremost, the key to our wealth is our own being, our own thoughts, our own our own inner state of being per se. Okay. You can never ever create in your life more or less than what you expect. So what I always say is the best way to really call in and allow this project to succeed for you is to know that you're worthy of it. Is to know that your time for abundance is now. Do not wait to the financial funding to flow to you before you start feeling abundant, okay? Don't let that be the permission slip for you to feel abundant. Feel abundant now. Like whatever, all of the ways you have abundance. Some of you have a car, some of you can act as a restaurant, some of you have a roof over your head. The way that we charge our lives, charge everything with our abundance is by fully appreciating everything that we have right now. And what I'm asking all of you is to make it a daily exercise to practice feeling rich with what you have now on a consistent basis. How does Zachary, I'd love to hear your take on that.
Oh, I love it. I'm completely in alignment with that because well we have, you know, an example in the creative wealth community. We have Lucy and Sam, who are funded with something very similar to an untethered income. It's a crowd-funded unconditional income of $2,400 a month, and they to get there, they had to think about that first. We had to visualize that first. We had to intend that would happen first. We you know, had a goal of $2,000 a month for them, and it took some time of creating that. But what's beautiful is with that process is that process involved them becoming more of themselves. They were becoming more of themselves, and then they were funded to be themselves. They were funded for everything that they were doing, rather than taking them on any other path. So I completely resonate with that, and I love personally living with the intention of, you know, I visualize, you know, $7,000 a month in unconditional income, and I try to live as if I have that already, and that really fills me up, and that's what inspires me to do the things that I'm doing today.
I love that. I love it. Living as if. And so I love that example. So in this community that we're partnering with, is there's someone already receiving basically an untethered income for $2,400 a month every single month, Lucy and Sam. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that's happening right now. And the people that are giving to them, you know, they're giving from a space of this, we just want to support you, we just love you, we just want to help, you know. And that's one thing I always say is that there is so much creativity that just lives amongst all of us, but a lot of us are, instead of pursuing creativity, we're pursuing survival. You know, we're pursuing, you know, keep the bills paid, you know, food off the table. And the idea with this is to eliminate that need for survival for the sake of, I'm already taken care of, now I get to just create my life. Okay. And so that's the income portion of it. Now, there's also another portion of it, which is going to be on personal development. Okay. We're really, really big on personal development because if we're going to be free, here's the thing. The moment you experience freedom, you're going to face immediately any wounds that's on your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only way to get to that next step in freedom is through those wounds that can be on the heart. So what they say is the treasure that you seek lives in the caves you fear. So if some of you are ready to start experiencing abundance right now, what are the things that could be on the heart that we can face, that we can move through? And Duke is actually the one who's in charge of the personal development aspect of it. And Duke, I would love for you to speak on the importance of self-growth, personal development. Why is this important for people?
Great question. Real quickly, I will share that there's been an evolution in that self-development aspect. And what I'm learning and what I really spend time with my clients and in presentations now speaking about and sharing is how valuable the opportunity for us to show up for others can really be, which is such a huge part of what you're creating here. And Zachary, what you're doing is when we begin to show up for others in ways that allow them to feel truly seen and heard, we validate them. We let them know they have meaning, and it can literally change their lives. But the thing that I'm finding that is so powerful with that is, and this is after going through all the years and years and programs and different things of the self-development, is that many of the things that I learned, I've flipped a little bit on, in that, you know, you read the stories about in the mirror, looking in the mirror and loving yourself and filling your bucket so you can help others and all these things. And a lot of this has some merit, but what I'm finding is so, so powerful is when we really make it our intention to show up for others, to be there in a way that they can feel truly seen and heard, as I said before. In that process, we recognize the only way we're able to do that is by becoming more real in who we are. We can't continue to show up with these facades and the personalities that we have hoped everyone would buy into and think we're awesome, because in reality, I think one of the greatest ironies in humanity is that that's just what we do. We wake up in the morning and we put on our facades and we make up these personalities that we think will have other people accept and love us, when the reality is the thing most deeply ingrained in us is to want our desire to be loved for who we are. So to me, that's one of the greatest dichotomy in human life, is that we go out portraying these things we think people will like, when what we really look for is them to just see us as we are. So the work I do is, and the work I look forward to doing with everyone, is learning how to be more intentional on how we show up, to show up what I believe is our natural set point of more love, kindness, compassion. And once we begin doing that for others, we can only be seen in a very different way. And that way is in alignment with the essence of who we are. So Alan, I kind of sidestepped a little bit of what you asked me, but in the self-development, I think we develop ourselves in as much or more so by allowing others to be seen for who they truly are, for validating their beauty, the essence of their spirit, of their soul. And when we can do that, it's only possible when we're able to show up in that same manner ourselves. So showing up for others in a ways that they can feel seen and heard will allow then the things that Zachary's doing, and Alan, what you share so often, allows us to become someone who creates ripples all around us. We show up with that love and kindness and compassion in a way that allows others to feel seen and heard, truly begins to change lives. And that's what I think most of all of you here are about, is wanting to make sure our lives are as amazing as they can be, and also share that with others around us.
That is it. Amen. Oh my goodness. Can we get an amen for that, dude? Can we put in the chat? Put in the chat, amen, if you resonate with that. You know, can I get an amen? You know what I'm saying? You know, and that is what it's about. And so the vision that came to me when I was just in my car, and what came on my heart was a vision of a planet where everyone is doing what they love to do, and they're fully supported as they're doing it. And I can even go deeper with that, is they're being who they are, and they're fully supported to be who they are. Because I don't want it to be just doing, because I don't want y'all just working all the time, right? Like, oh my goodness, I got to paint because I'm a painter, right? No. It's not about doing anything. It's about enjoying your life.
Yeah.
The only thing that I look forward to everyone doing is just living their life. Their life. Not the life that was told to you from someone else. Not the life that I got to do this to make money. I got to do this. No. Completely your life. And even the idea of me looking forward is another. Okay, in reality, I love you where you are. You know, we are where we are. It's not like once you hit this perfect space of authenticity, then you're loved. No, it's none of that. You're divinely loved where you are. But the overall theme is the direction that we want to head. If someone asked me the other day, like, Alan, what is your goal? What is your goal in life or whatever? My goal is to feel as good tomorrow as I feel right now. That's the goal. I feel absolutely amazing now, and I'm gonna continue that amazing feeling good. You know, someone said you're a speaker. Well, one moment I'm a speaker. The next day, I can be dancing. I'm a dancer now. It's not about the role. It's about the state of being while doing that role. Because at the end of the day, I'm not even Alan Little. I am a spirit experiencing the life of Alan Little. I'm a spirit that is living this life. So therefore, the intention we have with this is to bring us back to that spirit. And now we can, in the space of spirit, we can create anything. Absolutely anything. So what I want us to do now is start, pouring in your questions. Okay, start pouring in your questions. If you have questions, ask them. We'll answer as many of them as we can. And I can already feel what question. What person's like, okay, yesterday I went to the mall. I went to the mall, and then there's a guy who worked at the mall, and he's like, Alan, where's my $4,000? I need my $4,000, Alan. Where's my And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I saw your post and I commented on there. Where's my money? And I'm like, did you sign up? He's like, no, I didn't sign up. I just commented on the post. I'm like, ah. So when it comes to the win, there is no ETA. There is no when. We don't know when. This is a day by day, led by our heart project. But I can tell you this much. Don't wait for any particular event or moment for you to feel abundant. Feel abundant now, and all you will attract in your life is abundance. So ask your questions now. No one asks. I know y'all got questions. I know there's questions in there. Feel free to ask them. We'll be here to answer all of them. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep giving y'all this fire, this nuggets, this all day. I can do this all day. Y'all know I can.
Yeah. Alan, I wanna commend you on sharing such a beautiful vision on Facebook that activated so many people. I was really impressed by that. And Alan let me read through all of the responses that we got from that you got from people, and I was really moved and really excited by how deeply everyone poured their hearts out into this. And also something I just want to notice, 98% of the responses that you got, everyone said that what they would do with this income is ultimately it involved helping other people in some way. So like you were talking about, Duke, it's people who want to show up more for either their families, their communities, or the world.
Yeah,
all of those.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's and I've read through those as well, and that's it. We definitely notice how when people it's like when we receive something good, our innate reaction is we want to help somebody else. We want to help someone. We want to give that person just something good. Right? There's this idea that, well, if you give someone something free, they're just gonna, whatever. There's stipulations. What I've observed is that when you give people something free, they connect with their heart and they want to serve and they want to give. And don't just take out that one example that there could be that guy that gets something free and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go make loud noises in the library now, right? I'm gonna cause a nuisance. Okay. But now he has a community of people that can help him heal. We can help people like that heal. And so there's another thing as well. This was something that came up for me. Okay, the only person I told this to was Zachary, and Sky, my girlfriend. And way before this, like a year ago, almost a year ago now, I was playing the lottery for like 500 million. And it was my highest excitement to start that as the untethered income for people.
Sent you a text on
And and so I was literally out there like, man, like we're going to do this. I had it all planned out. And I mean, I've won like $20, $100, $20 here and there, but it was my highest excitement, you know, at that time to play, to win, to give to the people. And don't get me wrong, every once in a while I still go in there, I'll buy a little whatever, you know, a little dollar ticket here and there. But what I'm saying is that all of you are, like I said, all of you are that abundance. It'll come through every funnel that it needs to, whether it's here, whether it's outside of the untethered income. You know, open up to all of the funnels, all of the ways that it can flow into your life. You know, so let's see, we have a couple of comments here. Already seen it.
Really.
Okay. So someone just said, hi, Alan, I hope that you are well. In one of your posts, you mentioned that some people are already receiving the income. Please elaborate. This is what we're speaking about, Sam and Lucy. Zachary, could you speak on that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My favorite thing to do. So Sam and Lucy are receiving what we've called it a community launch basic income. We've called it unconditional income is a lot of what we're talking about. They are receiving income through their Ko-fi page that they set up. Ko-fi, Ko-fi, is a crowdfunding platform where people can donate to you. They can donate one time, or they can give you monthly donations. And in certain cases, Ko-fi doesn't even charge a fee, so it's a very affordable service. And then they are receiving this income through people donating to them through Ko-fi. We have talked about how the way we've put it out there is that, you know, it's Sam and Lucy. In Sam and Lucy's case, most of what they do is for free. They give a lot of their light and energy for free. And we did an interview with them a couple of days ago, and I just asked them, I was like, could you just list all of the things that you're doing right now, because they are so prolific with their creations and the way that they're interacting with people and giving to people. So let's see, is there anything specific that Alan, you think I should talk about more with Sam and Lucy, or any other questions about how that's working?
It's actually, so what we're doing, everyone, everyone, after this call, you're going to get a link, and you're going to join the Creative Wealth community. It's in an app called Mighty Networks. You're going to join a community, and then in that community, there's actually going to be a tab for Untethered Income in there as well, where you can chat with me and Zachary and Duke. And then also you guys can all plug into the Creative Wealth community as well. Because the way I'm seeing things go is that right now, with the Creative Wealth community, there's already people, you know, getting funded, getting paid right now. So open up to that. And then also, you know, having untethered income there in your back pocket as well, to where it's when things line up and things come together, it'll all flow as one. So for a lot of you, your untethered income could start, you know, with the Ko-fi page, you know, with this, and then the money can start flowing again from wherever sources it comes from. And then also on the back end, you know, I'm connecting with people, because what I've been doing is going to a lot of investor events, connecting with a lot of real estate investors, been raising money myself, things of that nature to help fund it as well. And I can't, like I said, I'm not going to promise that tomorrow or anything, but what I can say is that we can do everything we can do right now to start creating this abundance. And right now, with the Creative Wealth community, Sam and Lucy's already funded. There's other people that's getting funded, things of that nature, and that's something that you guys can pour into and tap into right now. And then, so someone else mentioned something about the personal development aspect of it. And it says, I don't have a voice. It says, I'm a bit under the weather, don't have a voice. I'm curious if there will be coaching / classes on healing mindset around scarcity along with personal development. I'm finding that can be picked up after years of survival. That's a really, really good to speak on, you know, the importance of alleviating, because a lot of us can receive income, right? But then because of our mindset, we'll attract higher expenses. You know, we'll attract, you know, it'll keep following us. I mean, how many of us had that before? The moment we get a paycheck or we get something happens that just takes it away, right? We just manifest them to our life. So, so Duke, could you speak to that, on the importance of the coaching, and classes around the idea of scarcity and being a survival?
Absolutely. And a lot of what I work with my clients on is understanding the stories they create, and the stories that you create, often we truly believe that they are real, that they're based on facts, when in reality we're making these stories up. We have a couple of things happen here and there, and we take those and we build this story. And whether it's a positive or a negative story, we continue to add more thoughts to it. We build a bird's nest around it, so to speak. And if it's something of scarcity, we have a tendency to think, oh no, I have more bills due. And we start adding to that. For example, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent, or how am I going to buy gas for my car? I'm not going to be able to get to work. Now I'm going to lose my job. Now I'm going to be, and we just start building these huge nests that just continue to pull us down. And so a lot of the time, what we have to relearn is how to create different stories. And I can share with many of you in time a lot of what that entails, as far as understanding our thoughts and how we're creating these stories, and how those stories actually become our reality. So if that gives you a little bit of what I hope to share with many of you, it's really about the stories we create. Whether or not we're anticipating things to happen, there's a big part of that I'll just throw out as a bit of a tease. One of the things that gets us in trouble are our expectations. We're wanting a result to happen because we're thinking these things. I signed up for that class, or I responded to Alan, and so we think, now I'm going to get this result. Well, live as if, and then whatever shows up is the reality of what is. So we will learn how to love, as Byron Katie, who's another amazing person I followed for years, as she says, learn to love what is. Simply love what is. And love what is means that you're not expecting things different than what they are. If the stoplight turns red and you're in a hurry, arguing and being mad because the stoplight turned red is arguing with reality. So we'll learn. I don't want to jump around too much, but we'll get back to understanding our stories, the expectations we may have, and how we can either grow through recreating stories, or we can continue to build upon some of those negative scarcity thoughts that we have in the stories that we've created, and be able to work through that process.
Love that. Love that. The stories that we create. There it is, right there. That's really good. What was that, Zachary? You had something?
I kind of wanted to add a little bit into to that, to respond to that question, because everything that Duke says is so wonderful. And then something that this is totally optional in the creative wealth community, but something that I like to offer is a process called wealth optimization. Again, it's something that I do with people for free, and with that process, it's really just putting your expenses and putting things on a spreadsheet. But part of it that I like to emphasize is starting to think about wealth as being measured by the number of days that you can enjoy your preferred reality. And so we can look at your expenses together. I'm not pushy or critical in any way. I think finances are a really sensitive area, and it's really important to me that people feel, safe and nurtured around them. But we can look at them together and explore, are there ways that you can keep your same quality of life, or even expand your quality of life while optimizing where your money is flowing. So I just wanted to offer that as well to that question that came up, Alan.
That's good. That's really, really good. We are here as resources for all of you in the frequency alignment and things of that nature. Someone else asked a really good question. It said, hi, might be too early to ask this, but do you know how we will reflect this with taxes and tax returns? What's funny about this one? I have a friend who was actually, been in a community I built. He's a tax CPA, like an accountant, and he's a police officer. And I sat with him for 2 hours specifically on taxes. and he offered to help in any way at all because he's passionate about the project. That was a very, very numbers oriented conversation. But in layman's terms, there's been a couple of ways I've been noodling on working with this, right? So the first way is that everyone that gets, that gets funded, say for example, through the Ko-fi platform that Zachary's talking about, the platforms, a lot of those platforms, they track everything you make. And then you can simply take that number. Say, for example, if you make, I don't know, $10,000 or whatever it is, you can take that to your CPA, take that, say, hey, I made this as a, 1099 income. I just received this. And then they can kind of do it for you from that sense. So having an account to put that in space. And then there is also another idea where I was going to turn this into a nonprofit. And then by turning it into a nonprofit, kind of just giving it as this is more what my tax guy was saying, was making it a nonprofit and then giving everyone a grant for like X amount of dollars every month, right? It's just like a grant that you'll just receive. And a nonprofit's focused, is untethered income and helping others. So that's more like we're talking about that. We're organizing that on a back end. We're still learning the tax codes in regards to, because it's not very popular to give free money. All right. So it's it's one of those things where with the IRS, they like to know why, what's going on, what's the benefit, what's this and this and that nature. So I think for now, what's going to happen is you guys are going to have the platform of Ko-fi, and then anyone that funds you, Ko-fi would have that available for you to see how much you've received. And then as time goes on, I'll post, I'll talk, we'll launch, things as it go on. Because I want to stay, completely tax compliant in regards to all of this. And so far, the easiest way is by letting the platform do the work for us, and then taking the numbers you make and go to your accountant or H&R Block or TurboTax or whoever you do that with. Zachary, you have someone that's receiving money right now. Could you speak on this at all?
I actually have not talked with Sam and Lucy about how they are doing it, and I can't give tax advice, but I can tell you that I'm receiving an unconditional income, and I am counting through Ko-fi, and I am counting that as business income on my tax returns. Okay. So that's essentially, it's like having a small sole proprietor business, and so I just have my income and I have my expenses, and that's how I'm doing it for simplicity's sake right now. But I love everything that you're talking about, Alan, and we're definitely always looking at how we can bring even more structure to unconditional income, so that there can be opportunities, like you said, with possibly a 501c3.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. See, we have another. So someone else just said, since you brought this up, I want to offer group breathwork integration for folks receiving untethered income to help ground into the heart. Yes, we would love that. I think it says PAX. Yes, we would absolutely love that. If you guys have services and you guys have skills that you want to offer to the community, please do. Please do. That is definitely welcome here, because we are a community, and there's a lot of us in here that have gifts and everything. And so if you want to start right now, just giving your gifts, and serving within a community, you guys are totally welcome to do that. So that definitely can happen. Someone said if you file a Form 56 at IRS, you become a non-taxpayer. You never have to pay. That's okay. That's really deep into it. We'll learn about that. We'll go into that. So it's people kind of giving their feedback here about that. So overall, the biggest things to keep in mind is, let me see, someone just joined. The biggest things to keep in mind is that you're receiving this income, and I don't want to go too deep into like the nicks and crannies of everything that's happening. I would say as things happen, when it flows, you'll know what to do in the moment. So it's good to be, because when I was meeting with the tax guy, the way he was talking, I was starting to get stressed. All the things he was throwing at me, all of these things. And I'm like, man, can you just take care of all of this for me? He's like, yeah, I'm willing to do it for the community. Just let me know. So for me, it's a lot easier to just bring it to my tax guy, bring it to the tax accountant, and let them do all of the, technicalities and everything of it. Having a person where that's their flow. And so we have another question. Would you be able to elaborate on what it looks like to live as if you have already the income you desire? Sometimes I feel like I do certain things, but because of money, I don't. I'm in a place right now where I feel like I need to budget and thoroughly plan how I spend, but that's not what I would do if I'm living as if. Budgeting makes me feel the scarcity more, but has helped me at times too. For me, budgeting comes from a place of lack and worry. What would be the balance, though, of being realistic and living as if? Oh, that's a good question. So I think that all three of us should chime in on this, okay? All three of us. So my first chime in with this is living as if a lot of times we're going to experience our old momentum of what we lived. And whenever things would pop up that counters what we want right now, the universe is giving us an opportunity to choose. Do we want to go back to our old way of scarcity, or are we willing to surrender to our new way of trusting? And so whenever those ideas come up, like what should I do? Should I do this or this? Should I be realistic? Should I be realistic or this? In the moment, we're creating our reality. And what we do in response to those things is what creates our reality. Zachary, what's your take?
Oh, I love the question. Thank you so much, Sky. And so how I like to live as if is I like to be I like to live as if to the degree that I feel good. So if I am living as if and all of a sudden I get stressed and I'm like, oh, I am not grounded in that reality enough to actually do that, then I just pull back a little bit and I try to introduce just doing little things, making little choices that are more in alignment with that reality that I want. And specifically now, when it comes to budgeting, and maybe this is one reason I changed for myself. I changed the word to wealth optimization rather than budgeting, because I realized that if I have $7,000 a month in unconditional income, what would feel really good to me is to be really organized with it, to know where it's going, to know where it's flowing. And that could just be me personally. So I think living as if is kind of about getting to know yourself, like just, dropping into, okay, I have $7,000 a month in unconditional income. What do I do? Or how do I respond to this, this situation has come up if I imagine already having this? So that's my answer. And thank you for the beautiful question.
That's good. And Duke, what's your response?
I'll jump on that and feed a little bit off of what you said, Zachary, because one of the things that first came to my mind, and Sky, thank you for that question. That is an awesome question. Is learning how to distinguish between how we feel about things and what we actually go out and physically do. So if I'm imagining that $7,000 a month in my mind, I'm probably not going to be living incongruent or living congruently with that if I go out and buy a new Lexus. My income's not there yet. So what often we find is that we get confused. We want to think, okay, well, if I'm thinking this and living this way, then I should be able to go to that concert. I should be able to trip out to California to visit my family. These different examples that I think sometimes we forget. Living as if means it's your feelings, it's your heart, it's what you're being able to wrap your head and heart around of, instead of getting to the end of the month, as I'd mentioned earlier in part of what I shared, and getting to the end of the month and realizing that you have too much month at the end of the money, as the old song goes, or the saying goes. Understanding that by changing your vocabulary, as Zach did with budget versus wealth. What did you call that, Zachary?
Wealth optimization.
Wealth optimization. That's perfect, because we begin to change our vocabulary, and then also realize by doing that, okay, I realize if I look at my wealth aspect of this versus a budget, if I look at that and see that there's not enough money for me to make my payments, I can either start going down the road that I mentioned earlier of building on that story of saying, oh my gosh, that means I'm not going to be able to pay this bill, I won't be able to get gas, and you start building on that story of all the things that will go or could go wrong. The difference is you look at that and say, okay, I've got some choices to make. I want to live as if I'm doing much better and living in a higher level income wise of life. How would I act if I had the money to pay that bill? That's the shift in how you're feeling about your life and the reality that you're living in. That's the shift that you begin to work your way into, that gives you even more opportunity to begin having the physical aspect of more income coming in. It's shifting in your mind and the heart. How do you speak to yourself? How do you show up for others instead of the poor me victim, I don't have enough money to pay my bills, to this month's going to be a little tight, but I know next month's going to be better, and I'm going to figure out ways to make this month work as best I can, doing my wealth planning in a way that will keep me on track, and allow me to still show up for others in a way that is helpful and kind and compassionate, and not poor me, I don't have enough money, I hate life, blah blah blah, and you start going down that. Is that making sense about the difference between actually having the money, actually having the money there where you can go pay all those bills off, and knowing that the money will be coming, and then living your life as if through your emotions and the stories that you tell yourself, living your life as if you're capable of that. The money just hasn't shown up yet. It's on its way. It's just not there yet. So live your life in that mentality and mindset.
Amen. Amen. Good stuff. Good stuff. And yeah, and the another really quick thing just came to me, and this could be a little bit outside, a little bit on a big outside perspective here, is what is the principle of what I want, and do I even need money for this? I've been playing with, wait, how can I get this without money? And looking into that, you know what, I tested this. It was 3:00 in the morning. I'll say some time ago. I don't know exactly when, some time ago. I was hungry. I had maybe a couple of dollars. And I had an insight that says, you know what? I wonder if I can go to Whataburger and get a fry and a drink and maybe something sweet without using money. I wonder. I went through the drive-through, and the lady say, hey, what's your order? I said, a fry, drink, whatever. And then after that, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have money right now. However, I am hungry. Will you help me? And she's like, you don't have any money? I'm like, no, not really. I'm really hurting right now. She's like, I got you. She went to the back, gave me out a full meal, right? I ate that, felt absolutely amazing. And it's definitely on my thing to go back there and just, pay for whatever. It's probably only like $5 or whatever it was. But at the end of the day, the principle is that there are sometimes in life we'll have these circumstances that we're so hardwired to think we need money for, and we actually don't need money for. And the irony is that the more we strengthen that muscle, the more that all forms of our abundance flow.
I'm going to throw on top of that something I think that just adds to it. And that's a great story. When you are able to go back and give them that $5 for that meal, give them another 20 or another 50 and say, hey, just put this in the kitty. And if somebody else comes through that's having a hard time or they're short on their cash, use this to cover that. Pay it
Oh.
forward. Pay it forward, so to speak.
Pay it forward. I love that. I love that. We're soaking this all in. And so someone is here, a good friend of mine, Otega from Uganda, Africa. And Otega, could you put in the chat what time is it there? You know, put in the chat, Otega, what time is it? He's in Africa right now. And his question was, how would this work for different currencies, you know, in regards to being in Africa? And so one thing that came up for me is we have different. It's 9:47 p.m. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock. Okay, cool. We've had calls before at like 7 o'clock and it was like 3 a.m. where he was, so it's not that bad now. But one thing that came up for me, and this is just more in the idea phase, okay, because that came up for me as well, is there's two ways we can. There's apps out there that you could, you already know the general money apps, like, TransferWise, Western Union, things of that nature, but there's a lot of fees with that. There's also apps that you can, in a sense, transfer certificates for gold. And then there's also apps where you can literally just transfer Bitcoin and then you can cash it out with whatever Bitcoin provider you have and then take care of your taxes that way. So say, for example, let's use one, for example, this is Robinhood, okay? It's one of the many. I don't know if this is in Africa or not, but let's just use Robinhood for an example. Let's say someone goes into Robinhood, they buy $30 worth of Bitcoin, and then that $30 of Bitcoin, they transfer to Otega, and then Otega cashes out that Bitcoin in his currency, and then the method he cashes it out, they will send him a 1099 or capital gains or whatever it is, however you do it in your country there, right? So what I would say, this is something that's being created because right now, Otega, from my knowledge, you're the only one that's in your specific country. We have someone else here that's from South Africa, but in terms of exactly where you are, you're the only one that's there. So that's a collaborative effort of learning, how does it work with your laws there and how does it work with our laws so those can dance harmoniously. But I also know that whenever there's a will, there's a way. Like we'll always find a way to make it happen. Even if it comes down to, I just fly down there and give it to you. Bro, I'll catch a flight out there, bro. It just, hey, here's somebody, bro. And I'll just hang out for a little bit in Africa. Like, why not? I make it a monthly trip. Like, we've been talking about me coming out there anyway. So, there you go. So, that's one thing that we have in the works. So, what do we think that? So, people giving great ideas, in regards to this. People sharing affirmations of, ways that money's flow to them or things they've been able to create without money. So there's one thing to keep in mind because we're coming up on time here is all of you are going to get an email with a link to join the Creative Wealth community, okay? Zachary, are you able to give us kind of a tour of it or how does that
Yeah.
Okay, so Zachary's going to give us a tour of the Creative Wealth community to see what it looks like, the setup and things of that nature, and we'll let Zachary take it from here.
Okay, so here I am sharing my screen.
All right.
Everyone see that all right?
Yes.
Okay, great. And so here's the Creative Wealth community. It's on a platform called Mighty Networks. And over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see this menu. And we created a new topic down here for Untethered Income. So you can just go to Untethered Income and there'll probably be a place where you can follow this topic. We'd love for you to do that. And then in this, so we have all of these topics, all of these places where you can share, like people talked about offering breath work. We have a topic for sharing your gifts, and you can talk about anything you have that you're wanting to share with people. I really want to encourage here. Shameless self-promotion is allowed because what I find is that people often just have trouble even talking about their gifts. So we want to err on the side of you sharing as much as you want to. I wanted to say that also the way we build out the community is very it's member focused. So if you want something, let's say you even are craving some kind of event for us to start, talk to me about it, or put it out there in the community, and we'll try to do that. If there's a group that you want to start within the community, put it out there and we'll do that. And in the same way, there was Alan was talking about questions earlier, and like getting into the nitty-gritty details of it. I love the details. I love the details of how all of this will work. So feel free to ask me questions anytime about how the community works, how unconditional income is working, how Ko-fi is working. I love those details. I love figuring all that stuff out, and it really fuels and feeds me when we're problem solving for those things. And does anyone have any questions about the creative wealth community, or
what are events? What is that? What is events?
Events? Yeah, so we have a number of events. Right now we have co-creating with Matthias, which I'm a channel, and I channel an energy named Matthias. So you're welcome to join that if you want. All of the events are totally, we're an obligation-free community, an obligation and pressure-free community. So you can participate as much as you want to. You don't have to participate at all. You can just, be in there absorbing the energy of what we're doing. And then one that might be relevant here is we have this community launched basic income team where every other week we're meeting to talk about community launch basic income, which is similar to untethered income. And so that if you're really into this idea of an untethered or an unconditional income, this may be a perfect place for you to connect with some other people and start building momentum around that. And then we also have like co-working sessions where it's just we hop on Zoom and do our own projects. If we're working from home or something, it allows us to be in the company of some other people for a while and prioritize things that are important to us that we may not otherwise have an excuse to prioritize and do.
Yeah, very nice. So what everyone's going to do, the moment you join a creative wealth community, scroll back down to the untethered income.
Yeah.
So you're going to join a creative community and then join the untethered income. And then in there, we can have conversations. I'll share, things of that nature. That'll be there as well. And then also plug into the whole creative wealth community, right? So think of the creative wealth community as like think of it as like the solar system, right? And the solar system has all of these different things you can do. Share your gifts on one planet. Talk specifically about the untethered income on one planet. Go into the community launch income on one planet. Talk with Matthias, which is an energy. Actually, you guys know me. I channel Onto, right? I was actually working with Matthias 101 for many, many months before I was confident enough to start channeling. And Matthias has added so much value to my life, right? So I ask all you guys, please plug into Zachary, plug into that as well. And then also in there, Duke, I'm gonna send a link to Duke. Duke's gonna be in there as well with Untethered Income. If you have a question for Duke, in regards to anything that he was sharing, feel free to reach out to him, all in this community hub as well, because he's here as a resource to help you guys. And so anything else you want to share on this, Zachary?
No, I don't think so. I want to say that there's a direct message option here on the community. So yeah, you can send me a message directly. And we also encourage you to just put any thoughts, any questions you're having into the community and any topic, because that creates a lot of momentum when people get to see what you're thinking, what your questions are, what you can be as vulnerable as you want, and we just love all of the conversation we can have around this.
That is good. That is great. That's good. So that is there, available for all of you to access within this. So good deal. Good deal. So yeah. So overall, if you can return this back to the main screen here, So overall, we have, you know, there are so many things in place for you to start, you know, now experiencing all that you can experience with this, within things in your own life. The development is there, you know, and then whenever there's like I mentioned also the seminars as well. In the Untethered Income, and that I'll start posting like different seminars that's recommended, you know, to check out in terms of your own personal growth and things of that nature. And so, oh, we had another question just come through. We know you said there is no ETA for launching this, but do you have a goal for when? Is there a goal amount you are trying to raise with donors in order? Our greatest goal is to feel absolutely amazing tomorrow as we feel right now. When we lead with the energy of what we feel and what we trust and the insight as it comes, what will actually be created will be way greater than anything we can imagine at this time. Okay, I want to put into that because I resonate with that question because there's a lot of talk about you gotta have a target, have a focus date, have an intention. We have an intention that everyone experiences all of the abundance that they are, and they're able to receive it too. That's where we're keeping up. Now, if I feel an insight for something more clarification, that I'll speak it as it comes. As Zachary feels some more things, he'll speak it as it comes. But at the time of right now, we are in the phase of cultivating a community, preparing for what's to come. But in terms of like having a goal, I mean, to be honest, if I could place a mental goal today, you know what I'm saying? Like right now. But in terms of where we are right now, is the greatest goal is that all of us can do everything we can today to be prepared for when things are manifesting more and more and more. And the only way things can manifest is if we appreciate and we acknowledge everything that's in place right now. You know? So what's up, Zachary?
I was just going to jump in on this, that what we can do with this is we can talk about your goal potentially,
that.
you know, for what I like to talk about it as, you know, your happy level of income. What's that level of income where you would feel just totally satisfied and taken care of, and then we can talk about that. We can put that goal on your Ko-fi page because one thing now Alan is we're always exploring other options, connecting with, you know, investors and funders. But what I really like about what we're already doing with Sam and Lucy is that we didn't have to go to anyone and say, you know, this is our target goal, and then we're going to fund these people with it. We promoted them, and we encouraged people to give directly to them. And they promoted themselves as well. You know, they invited their community to give. So that's something that we can talk about if you're interested in doing it that way. Is we can try to get money going directly to you rather than coming to us and then going to you.
I love that. That resonates so at home. You know, if exactly what Zachary said, if you have your own, like, you know what, you have your own goals you want to set. I like that you said a happy level of income. That's definitely towards the individual, because the reason why I'm so like nitpicky about it, because I can have a goal set, but you can manifest something faster than I could. You know, what if I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I want to fund everyone, you know, by next year or whatever it is. But then what if you was in your own self and doing things for yourself, you did it in 6 months, 3 months, who knows? So I like what you were saying, Zachary. Each individual has their own personalized goal or what resonates with them the best, and it's more on an individual basis. And then also trust that we're doing everything on the back end to support you.
Yeah. And you can also come to me, like I do. At this point, I can offer unlimited sessions and talking about this. So you can come to me and we can figure out, okay, how are we gonna get from here to here? I love doing that. This is my, you know, purpose and mission in life right now. So I would totally enjoy all the time that you want to give to this. I would love to match it with you.
I love that. I love that. What's up, Duke?
Let me throw something in there. You got me thinking a little bit, Zachary, about Sam and Lucy. And the thought that popped in my mind was, if each one of us on this call today, and if you want to share this with others, if we could begin to look at what it is we offer, how we can serve those around us with our gifts and our knowledge and wisdom, what can we decide can serve them in the most powerful way, the most kind, loving, compassionate way? How can we begin to serve others so that the value that we create is so great that they do like Zachary said, and they just set up a Kofi fund so people go, yeah, we want you to do more of this. Here's some money so that we can support you so you can keep showing up as you are. It's just something, maybe a challenge to everyone, just to think a little more seriously. I know in some of the coaching I've done over the years, people in business, they've made proposals and had a contract accepted, and say it's for $30,000 for the work that they're doing. And the question that comes up then that we're able to discuss is, okay, this is 30,000, but what I want you to do is to imagine if you were never able to get another client, and if all you could do was just absolutely show up for them in a way that provided so much value that they would want to have you continue to work with them for the rest of your career, what would you have to do to be that valuable to them? And it shifts our whole mindset of just trying to offer something to, what can I really give? If I really put my heart and soul into this, what could I really do to serve them in the most powerful, kind, and loving way possible? Just a thought.
Love that. Man, we got such a dope team, man. Oh my goodness. But we got an amazing, just nuggets all over the place, man. So many nuggets. And I'm vegan, you know? All right, so cool. So we are just over the hour now. So now this is the part where Zachary sent me the link. So I am going to send you an email. And the moment you get that email, sign into the Creative Wealth community, go into there, join the Untethered Income, topic there as well. Plug into the play everywhere else, sharing your gifts. Join the Matthias call. Oh my guys, those calls are absolutely phenomenal. Plug into Duke. He'll be on there as well. He'll be on there as a member that you can connect with and join. And let's really start cultivating this. So with that being said, is there anything else? Anything lasting words from anyone? Zach, no, Duke.
Welcome, everyone.
What was that, Duke?
I just said, welcome, everyone. This is so exciting. I'm just so blessed to be a part of it.
I'm feeling the same way as you, Duke, and I just want to really thank everyone for resonating with Alan's vision, for being on this call, for being on the leading edge of energy like this, ideas like this. That fires me up, and I feel I just feel so grateful. I'm so grateful for all the beautiful questions too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And I want to change my answer about something. Someone asked me if I have a goal. Damn it, I have a goal. And my goal is that vision where everyone is living their life abundantly, doing what they love to do. And any idea of obligation, survival, unnecessary burdens, or anything like that is not even a thing anymore. We don't struggle for oxygen. We don't struggle, to love our children, like it's our children there, we can hug them, right? For the most part, at least. Some countries there's different laws and all. I mean, not laws, but kids are bad and they, but when our kids are their best behavior, we don't struggle to love them. Okay, I'm kidding. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, dang it. Either way, I love all of you so much. Thanks so much for being part of this vision. Thanks so much for joining, and connect with us in the Creative Wealth community. And with that being said, we are out. Love you all.
Love you all.